5 years before, in Seneca Falls, New York. In 1848, this was a progressive town, in the heart of the anti-slavery movement. But the women of Seneca Falls were as confined as any in the land. Second-class citizens restricted by law and custom.
Once a woman married, everything that she owned became her husband's. They ceased to exist legally. Women had no rights to their own property. They had no rights to their children. They had no rights to the safety of their own bodies. One of the states upheld the right of a husband to beat his wife, saying that to do otherwise would be to upset the domestic harmony of the home.
Those who dared suggest that women were entitled to equal rights were accused of blasphemy. It was in this climate that the first women's rights meeting was called, at a modest chapel in Seneca Falls. The leader, 32-year-old Elizabeth Cady Stanton, did not look like a revolutionary, but Stanton had been a rebel since childhood. A judge's daughter, she had fought for an education as good as her brother's. Now the wife of a radical abolitionist, Stanton was pushing the fight beyond slavery to demand justice for women as well.
The history of mankind is a history of repeated injuries on the part of man toward woman, having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over her.
For 2 days, the Methodist chapel rang with the voices of 300 women and 40 men, most of them abolitionists already calling for the end of slavery. Now they raised some of the most troubling issues to women: divorce, education, property rights, passing one resolution after the next. Then the assembly was thrown into an uproar by Stanton's demand that women be given the right to vote.
For what shall we first petition? For the exercise of our right to the elective franchise. Nothing short of this. The grant of this right will secure all the others.
That was the only thing that was controversial among them. It was so radical. It was such a quintessentially male act by 1848 to vote that they really had to argue among themselves about whether it was okay to put that in, whether that would sink the whole thing.
Women couldn't, by law, vote. But by and large, what was at stake here wasn't just law. It was a whole set of customs and assumptions about the way the world was supposed to be, about what men and women were supposed to be. It was only men, mostly white men, who had the right to vote.
The debate over women's suffrage went on for hours, until abolitionist Frederick Douglass rose in support.
This cause is not exclusively woman's cause. It is the cause of human brotherhood, as well as human sisterhood.
The Seneca Falls Declaration called for the vote in a true democracy where male and female, black and white, would stand together on equal ground. Reaction to the convention was swift. One paper called it an insurrection, another, a congregation of Amazons bolting with a vengeance. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was delighted.
My dear friends, I see that all the journals from Maine to Texas strive with each other to see which can make our movement seem more ridiculous. Imagine all the publicity given to our ideas. It will start women thinking, and men too. And when men and women think, the first step in progress is taken. Good night.